Greetings, and no apologies for the quick turnaround. My one and only loyal viewer, Stace Catalan, took the time to watch my previous video and respond. And in true fashion, I always like to read, react, and respond. So without further ado, I was saddened to hear that Nikki A. Cox, who played the original Meg in the first season of Supernatural, passed away last week, just a couple of days before my birthday. It was disheartening since she was only a year older than me. Same here, Stace. Sounds like you and I are both born in '76. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was disheartening. Especially since the show meant a lot to so many different people. Um, you know, not to sound cruel or crude, but between all the losses I suffered in the service and then losing my son, my stepdad, my grandmother, my mom, maybe I'm just a bit hardened. Maybe I'm just kind of a bit more immune to loss than others. What else you got? I don't know if I will wait until I finish Supernatural to start the Winchesters or not. I just don't know when I'll get back to Supernatural with all the shows currently on my plate. You know, interestingly enough, Stace, and for anybody else who watches this, it kind of came and went. And normally I like to earmark it. Normally I like to talk about it, specific anniversaries of any kind. Saturday was officially the 2-year mark since Supernatural went off the air. It's been 2 years since we lost our beloved show. It had been longer than 2 years had it ended when it was supposed to. In a weird twist because of the whole COVID thing, when the last 7 episodes aired, that could have been the beginning of season 16. 16 would have gone from 20 to 21. We could be on season 18 right now. But, you know, all good things must come to an end. I want to say Jensen said something about going out on top. But, yeah, 2 years since the show ended. My, how the time flies. What else you got? As for Interview with a Vampire, while there are differences from the book, there are aspects from the book truer to the series rather than the movie. As parts of the series takes place after the book, the story is retold to the boy reporter while he has grown and has developed Parkinson's. Interesting. Anne Rice and Christopher Rice are both executive producers, with Christopher Rice being gay. I know that the gay undertones from the book are truly brought to the forefront. However, the acting of Jacob Anderson is phenomenal, and in my opinion, it shows how much he was underutilized in Game of Thrones. I think when it comes to vampires, there's always been a subtle undertone or even overt undertone of homosexuality or bisexuality, in the pretense if you're going to live forever, at least several decades to several centuries, not that I'm saying you'd get bored, but maybe you get bored. Maybe, you want to try new things, and I think that's what they hint at is with immortality is the essence of, exploration, what else? There's a word I'm looking for. Satisfying different itches, so to speak. And I think that's always been around as it pertains to vampires. What else you got? Hang on. Trying to fix this computer over here. Okay, and last but not least, as far as voting locally is most important in my opinion because that will affect us first and foremost. Just voting nationally is just like going to church on Easter Sunday or Christmas. Yeah, those what do they call them? Something Christians where, yeah, they only go on Easter and they only go on Christmas, and they call themselves Christians. Yeah, I don't know how much that the the federal elections impact us to a certain degree, other than if one party has control of the Senate or the House of Representatives or both, or whoever's in the White House, that has some impact and some uh, influence on us. But I think to a degree you're right. Is at that point, once they get there, to some degree, it's almost like just maintaining the status quo. Um, the one thing I've been having a hard time with, and I thought about bringing this up earlier, it's bias, and it's been discussed on my channel as well as a handful of others. And whether you want to call it confirmation bias, internal bias, unconscious bias, I naturally despise the Democratic Party, and I have my reasons for that, and I feel as though my reasons are just rational and, well researched and to a degree indisputable. Why can't others feel the same way about the Republican Party? And I was thinking about it because I was trying to wrap my head around the John Doe person who commented on my channel, and I was trying to figure out which direction were they going with this. Because equally and opposite, when you look at that particular circumstance that took place in Ireland, you had Roman Catholics who believed in the Catholic form of Christianity, and then you had Protestants, and they just were so entrenched in their belief system. Ironically, the Protestants wanted to align with England and be part of the United Kingdom, and the Catholics wanted to be a free and sovereign Ireland. And I'm sure, to an objective person, they were both right. They both had equal merit. They both had, justification. They were both equally right. But unfortunately, what a lot of people don't like to contend with is the fact that in life there has to be winners and losers. And it's how we move on after that. And I think if you look at Ireland as an example, if the overwhelming majority of the population, and I'm talking like not 51 to 49, but we're talking like 60-40, were Protestants, and the other 40% were Catholic. It's not like the Protestants are trying to ostracize and convert the Catholics. It's just the Protestants rule by majority, and they want to join England and be part of the United Kingdom. At which point, I think a calm, rational person sees where you must concede. In spite of what you like or dislike, you have to concede. I don't know that our country is that red or that blue. I think the majority of people that find themselves red despise an awful lot of things about blue, and the people that find themselves blue despise an awful lot of things about red. For me specifically, I'm red on several issues that have nothing to do with religion. As soon as religion is invoked, you lose me. Like, the whole concept of homosexuality, and I'm fine with the singular word. Guys who like guys, girls who like girls, people who like both, homosexuality, bisexuality. I'm fine with that. I'm also a big fan of you do you. But, at the end of the day, are these people doing any harm? But then, if the Republican Party had to get in bed with the evangelical church, and if the evangelical church puts a hard line that it's not in the Bible, okay, but your Bible was written by men based on a religion that was founded by a man or other men, dating back to, as we know it, sometime around 0 BC. All right? Maybe I'm a bit off by the numbers, but we're to assume that since man became a thing on this planet, that homosexuality and bisexuality has not existed in the last several centuries, but only just recently. No. And it goes to my argument that so many forms of organized religion directly represent cultures, or they were written specifically to represent cultures, all right, to include the majority. If homosexuals and bisexuals are normally in the minority, just not that many people are gay, not that many people are bisexual, or not that many people are transsexual, and that makes them a minority, numerically, statistically speaking. then it stands to reason how a society of people who are normally heterosexual, heteronormative, would agree on these rules. So that's just one of many examples I could give. So yeah, Stace, I don't know. I'd like to see the Democratic Party in principle go away, but the people that represent the Democratic Party necessarily wouldn't go away, and a lot of the ideals that they believe in wouldn't go away. In other words, you could change the name, but can you change the mindset? And I don't know. I'm very curious to see where we go from here. And Stace, if you don't mind, as much as I love getting meta, if need be, make two separate responses: a more meta response and then a more political response, so that I can do two separate ones. I'd really like to know what you think at the very least, as far as you know, how do we move forward? I mean, do we really need to have some sort of competition or whatever, or are the parties? I don't know. Love to hear what you think. Enjoy your holiday.